All right, so we dealt with rational exponents, but now we're going to deal with rational exponents that are different and writing as a single radical. So I have 3 to the 1/2, x to the 1/4, and I need to write this as a single radical. So in order to write it as a single radical, these two numbers need to be the same. So I'm going to look at them and I'm going to see what can 2 and 4 both go into, and they can both go into 4. So I'm going to change this into 3 to the 1/2 times 2 over 2, because this will give me 3 to the 2/4, which is still 1/2. The x I didn't have to change, so it's going to stay as 1/4. So now that they have the same denominator, that's going to be my index, and it's going to be 3 to the 2, x to the 1. So when we're doing these, we have to look for a common denominator. And the same thing is true when I have 3 terms. So I'll have a bunch that have 3 terms. So when I'm looking at this, I'm going to look at what can 4, 5, and 4 all go into. And they can go into 20. So I'm going to go times 5, which means I need to multiply the numerator times 5. The x is going to be times 4, multiply the numerator times 4, and the y is going to be times 5, multiply the numerator times 5. So that's going to give me 3 to the 5/20, x to the 4/20, y to the 5/20. So now they have the same denominator. So the denominator is going to be my index. It's going to be 3 to the 5th, x to the 4th, y to the 5th. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, because as I was looking at the assignments, I noticed a lot of people doing this. Your index needs to go right here. I see a lot of people write the index like this, and that means something different. That means 20 times the square root, and we don't want 20 times the square root. We want the 20th root. So that index needs to go up there, okay? Hopefully that's not too hard. Now when they give me two radicals, like the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write these with rational exponents. So this is going to be x to the 2/3, y to the 4/3. This is going to be, well, I'm going to write it over here, but it's coming from there. X to the 3/5, y to the 7/5. So now I'm looking for a common denominator with these, which is going to be 15. So it's going to be x to the 10/15, y to the 20/15 times x to the 12. Nope, just kidding. 9/15, y to the 21st 15th. So now that they have a common denominator, when we're multiplying, we're going to add the exponents. So I'm going to add this and this. So it's going to be x to the 19/15, and I'm going to add this and this, y to the 41/15. And now I can make it into a single radical. So my index is going to be 15. I'm going to have x to the 19, y to the 41. So those are the steps that you're going to have to follow for these guys.